Yeah, I'm starting the recording now, so this is a Bronze 5 lesson for Unknown Samurai on Vayne. So what do we have Ash? Who is Ash here?
Ash is my support.
Okay, excellent.
And then I think I became the support because Ash got fed a little bit.
Gotcha. And their ADC... Dude, this is confusing.
Yeah, I know. It was
Go Bronze, man. Okay, so we are number E. Not number E, letter E. There we go. Okay, so
Yeah, it's
you
me
were
and
ADC
Ash.
this game?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Either that or I was support, but it was still playing Vayne.
Okay. Yeah, depending on which role you were, it's going to affect a lot of what you're doing in lane. But honestly, farming, one of the most important things you can do, especially low elo, because that is where most people fall off. They, you know, most bronze people that I've run into farm somewhere between like 35 and 70 CS by 15 minutes, and you should really be aiming for like 150
Yeah,
at
150
15
by
minutes.
15 or what?
Yeah, and most people don't do that. Like, to be fair,
No.
like that's that even the top LCS players do. But at the same time, if you set that as your goal, you know, shoot for the stars. That way, if you end up on the moon, that whole saying, like, um, pretty handy. So yeah, in this case, generally I do like to pull guard on jungle here. So in the future, maybe try to stand over here just to avoid any counter jungling, anything like that.
Okay.
You can't always control where your team goes, of course. So if you're, you know, jungle goes here, then you should probably go here,
Yeah.
vice versa. But just
Okay.
generally, it'll help your team out in the long run because then you won't get countered as often. And if you do, you guys are a little bit more prepared. So a lot of
Okay.
it comes down to just doing what you can to mitigate your team's lack of skill. That's why we're getting you to be the best player here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we're leashing. Looks like
I
you
think I
started.
gave him a pretty hard leash.
That's good. That's good. Don't forget that your tumble resets your auto too, so you can get 2 off there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, nice solid leash for him, and he got level 2. Nice. So by this point, I'm gonna say that we've overstayed on this. When we look
Okay.
at down here, especially when you're ADC, you want to make sure you don't miss these first 3 minions. So generally, as ADC, well, generally at higher elo too, people start on Gromp.
Yeah,
And
I know.
yeah. So when they start there, I usually drop like 3 to 5 autos, depending on what champion I'm playing and how fast my attack speed is, and then immediately go to lane. It's better to give them a bit of a weaker leash and get yourself snowballed, especially at low elo, because you can't count on him to keep his lead that you just gave him, but you can rely on yourself to keep the leads you give yourself. So,
Okay.
assuming you were ADC in this case, you definitely would have wanted back out a little bit earlier here and get down and get some farm.
Okay.
As support even, it's sometimes okay to hang around, like if you're worried about a counter jungle or something like that, but even then you want to get down there at the same time as your ADC. So regardless of whether you're ADC in this situation or not, you want to try to stay parallel with your duo lane.
Okay.
So we're going to watch for that too this game. We're going to watch your positioning. Right now we're falling behind on experience because of how much space we're giving ourselves. So do you have any issues with like high ping or anything like that?
I got a pretty low ping, I think. It's like, as you can see, I think in the screen, is that mine or is that yours? 53, 54.
Oh no, that's
Is that ping related?
no.
Or is ping the little green one?
Ping would be the green one, but that's
Okay, I
just for
usually
the
get like
replay.
74 ping.
Okay, yeah, that's just fine.
Okay.
I know some people like that's one of the biggest problems I see in low bronze. People have extremely high ping, really bad lag issues. So it's important to note, melee minions, they take 2 turret shots and then 1 auto attack, and caster minions, you'll have to auto them once and then let the turret hit them once and then auto them again.
Okay.
So in this case, as you just saw, you missed that minion.
Yeah.
Just simply being a little more patient on when you're hitting these minions.
Okay.
Avoid standing there and just autoing blindly. So if you want to push, then be pushing.
Okay.
But if you're just trying to farm, then just hang out, wait for those last hit opportunities.
All right.
Because you notice how the timing gets off on that right there? Like,
Yeah.
turret hits it, and you're like, oh crap, I'm still charging up another auto, and then you hit it, and it's like, oh, that didn't kill it, and then the next one goes
Yeah.
down. Yeah, so patience
Just
comes
wasting,
hugely
yeah.
into play.
Okay.
Of course, against Ashe and Talia, try to abuse your minions as much as possible. So
Okay.
what I mean by that is they both are skill shot based champions that don't go
Yeah.
through minions. Use that to your advantage. Definitely don't be afraid to be standing right up here next to them, because they can't hit you as long as you're behind minions. You're completely, like, you have an invincible wall right there as long as as long as you're behind those minions. Of course, Talia does have that scoop thing that
Yeah.
throws her, or throws you back towards them, but you have a tumble. That's your mobility. You can work around that. Okay. So yeah, not too much to talk about here. Falling a little bit behind on CS. Where is Callista? Got this all messed up here.
Callista's top lane.
There we go. So Keenan jungle. Interesting. All of this quite interesting. Okay, so we got that minion. That's good. That's good. Ashe supports up there farming. Now, I gotta ask, why are you hanging back so far like this?
I was probably chatting or something.
Ah, okay. So were you talking to people in game or
Yeah,
just friends and
probably.
stuff? Okay. That is something I would recommend not doing.
Okay.
There's very few times where you actually need to communicate, and most of your communication can be done via pings. So, because do you have any issues with like tilting or you know, people raging, etc., getting under your skin?
I mean, like, if my Ashe was support, I would kind of be a little tilted. Like, you know, I picked Vayne for a reason, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'd just say like a little bit, not too much, but
Okay.
you
And
know,
and
things
you can
like
see
that, you know.
when you look at it now, you see how much that's affecting how much CS you're getting, and you know, your ability to harass, your ability to trade with the enemy. All of that's being affected because of your distractions that your team's creating for you. So remember, you
Okay.
can't control what your team does ever, and don't worry about what they're doing.
Okay.
I played a game not even 2 weeks ago in ranked in Gold 2 where I had a Sona top. And everybody on my team is freaking out about how we have a Sona top and we're going to lose and blah, blah, blah. Well, that Sona went 3-0 and we ended up winning the game. We got her 3-0 by 10 minutes. I just ganked a bunch of times and she followed up. Like, she knew what she was doing. So don't base the champions that people play so much, like in terms of their skill. Like, don't assume that they're bad or stupid because they picked a stupid champion.
Okay.
Just focus on what you can do for yourself. Like, you can't control that your team's feeding. You can't control they have stupid picks. You can't control that so-and-so's doing blah, blah, blah. Just do what you can. So if you got to mute people, man, some people have to do that.
Okay.
I personally, I can usually stay untilted as long as they don't start raging at me. Like, I don't mind having an Ashe support, but if Ashe support starts calling me retarded, then I get mad.
Yeah. Okay.
So recognizing what things tilt you is really important. You know, figure out what your triggers are and recognize when you're triggered by those things so that you can combat that. You know, if this triggers you, then know that you got to mute Ashe and you got to push through anyways, because the ultimate goal is you want to win, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're never going to win if you're sitting back here raging at them. You may think that you're never going to win anyways, but you'd be really surprised what your skill can do to carry a game like this. The person I was doing with tonight, for example, she went 0-11 in top lane on Teemo.
Okay.
I still took 2 turrets bot, came top, took 2 turrets top, took top inhib, got a triple kill, came mid, took that, got drag. I was just everywhere I needed to be to get the kills, you know? And yeah, it doesn't matter if your team feeds. It doesn't matter if they play bad champs. If you're good enough at the game, you can carry them. So with that in mind, recognize that if you're not carrying, it's a lack of personal skill and nothing to do with your team.
Okay, I probably have some lack of personal skill.
Dude, we all do. I mean, like, I'm almost plat now, and I still think I suck terribly at this game. And it's true. Like, when compared to people, like for example, I watch a lot of streamers, and I watch Good Guy Gary, and he's been doing this unranked to diamond
challenger
run.
montage or something like that, right?
What's that?
I see that you did like some like unranked to challenger or like filled the challenge or something like that, right?
Yeah, he's done all kinds of fun stuff,
Oh,
but
okay.
right now he's doing an unranked to diamond run, and
Yeah.
he's 53-12 on Tryndamere win-loss. And I'm like, how do you go 53-12 with all these horrible teams? Like, I would never be able to do that. My teams suck. I get these crappy Ashe supports, and I get people that feed and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And so I'm watching his games, and he even brings it up because he gets an AFK, and then he gets mid lane that feeds. And I'm like, so how do you win? And I'm watching very carefully him do this stuff. And I'm like, he just plays so much better than everybody he's against that he carries the game. He was against a Jax top, the game that we were talking about specifically.
Yeah.
And Jax missed his stun level 1, and he just all-in'd him and killed him because he knew he could. So remember that if you're capable of doing those things, it doesn't matter what your team does. So aim for that to be your skill level. Like, you ain't got to be challenger skill level, but if you're gold skill level, these things won't matter so much.
Okay.
So we're at 17 CS at 9 minutes.
It's
Again,
horrible.
right now we want to be looking at least 60 to 70.
Okay.
And that is a doable number. It's a little bit tough into the lane matchup you're against now because you are outranged, and Talia and Ashe both have an extensive amount of poke. But if we apply the things that we talked about here just a minute ago with you using those minions as sort of in a wall of invulnerability, that'll allow you to get that pressure in. That'll allow you to catch up in situations like this. So Ashe is also farming too, which is probably hurting how much CS you can get. I know that's a huge issue because for every minion she gets...
And then I probably got tilted right here in just the left lane because of that.
Gotcha. Yeah. So try not to let those things get under your skin. Maybe you do have to leave lane. Like, I'm not going to say you did the wrong thing by leaving here. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes your team is just so tilting that the only way you're going to keep your head on straight is go somewhere else. But if that's the case, definitely make sure you're doing what you can to farm up. So, like I was saying, very nice. Very nice condemn there. So you should be able to pick that up. Okay. He gets away from you. No flash. Oh, you do have flash.
Oh, did I? Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it.
That's okay. That's another thing that a lot of people don't stay on top of as much, their own summoner skills and their active items. So I'm going to ask you, but I can probably already guess. Do you have any issues with, like, remembering to use Blade of the Rune King, things like that?
When the time comes, probably yes.
Okay. So I like to have a system worked out in my head. Like, remember or ask yourself right now, what situations would you want to use Blade of the Rune King in?
Definitely if it was like a 2v1 or like even a 1v1, I'd probably use it to like try to kill him before he kills me.
Okay, so when we look at what Blade of the Rune King does,
okay, well there's my flash.
Right. That was a little unnecessary, I would say. You could have moved off to the bot side of the map. You could have moved up. Like, they weren't really engaging on you there. So that was more of like a, oh crap, we're cut off. I'm not going to let him do that to me thing. This is where the mechanical outplays will come in super handy. Ooh, that sucked. Now remember, he does get 100% crit, I believe, when he ults. So do not stand and trade with Yasuo at point blank range. This is what makes Vayne so difficult. She's super, super short range, so it makes it dang near impossible for you to not get hit by melee champions. But if you learn to manage that range, you'll just start wrecking people, man. Like, 100%. Do you use A when you attack?
You mean that non-auto thingy? No, I don't.
Okay.
Should I be using A?
I would highly recommend it if you're going to play ADC. Other roles, I don't think it's quite as important as ADC, but because range management is like 100% the most important skill on an ADC, it's almost a necessity that you use it.
Okay. Should I unmark auto attack minions then?
What do you mean?
Don't you have like a little button for like auto attacking minions or something like that? Or like the options or something? Should I unclick that and just like regular attack, or like a click to attack, whatever?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I heard there was a setting for something like that, but I've never actually looked it up.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what, like, just I'll break it down for me, and you can tell me what you're dealing with. But most people right-click to hit minions and stuff like that, hit champions, and also for movement. Anytime I'm moving, I'm using A. So like it helps you position a lot better too, because you can keep your. Oh, that's another thing. Do you keep your screen unlocked?
My screen is locked.
I was asking. Do you keep your screen unlocked?
My screen, yeah. I pressed the Y to have it unlocked so I can get a bigger vision of what's going on.
Excellent, excellent. That's a huge thing too. So between that and using A, those are going to help you a lot, because then that's going to allow you to do the kiting where you can step back A, step back A, step back A, step back A, and kite Yasuo in those situations so that he doesn't just stand there and auto you, and you don't run the risk of accidentally stepping up too close to him. Because that's what's going to get you killed as an ADC. Get within somebody's, sticky finger range, and they are going to kill you. So as far as positioning goes, I think you've had 2 awesome condemns so far. Those are the only 2 I've seen, but both of them have been great. So good job on that.
Okay.
Okay, and so this is going to be a little bit of a difficult game, because obviously we have non-traditional stuff going on here.
Yes.
And you are obviously a little bit tilted, so we're just going to focus on what we can improve, what we observe here in the game.
Okay.
So farming seems to be going pretty well. Try to be a little bit quicker on your moves. So, have you ever heard of the term orb blocking?
No.
Okay, so basically, it's a term, I don't think they even really use it too much anymore, but orb blocking is when you try to make your character model not even stop moving as you go along the map. So like as you're moving and auto attacking, try to minimize the amount of time you're holding still in that window. And that's something we'll look at a little bit in your one-on-one when we get to that stage.
Okay.
So yeah, 8 to 9, you guys are only down 1,000 gold too, so we're not doing too bad. And this is another example of why I don't want people to tilt. Because even despite everything that's gone wrong in this game, despite the fact you've died twice, and you're super tilted and you got an Ashe support, you guys aren't actually losing. Yeah, you guys aren't actually losing at all. You're actually pretty even, and you've already gotten a dragon. Yes, they've gotten a turret, but you've already gotten a dragon. So you have that additional pushing power. If you start focusing on those aspects, it's going to help you stay out of your own head a little bit. Look at the map objectively. Go, okay, so if I was to just sit down on my computer for the first time, my buddy's like, hey, take over for me. I got to go to the bathroom, and you're taking over. What do you see here? You see that it's not actually that different. It looks like a pretty normal game to me. So, just use those little techniques to keep out of your own head, because that is the #1 killer. If you tilt yourself and you tilt your allies and your allies tilt you and et cetera, it's going to screw up your games.
Yeah.
Okay, so we obviously CS is definitely one thing we've identified. Now, of course, this game is a little wonky, so and Vayne is a really hard one to farm on, especially early, because she doesn't build a whole lot of attack damage, so you never really get those easy last hits.
No.
Caitlyn, I fell in love with Caitlyn when I first started playing ADC, 'cause she was a really easy one to learn, and nowadays she's like one of the top meta picks. Yeah, Caitlyn and Sivir and Ashe right now are super strong. So I do recommend picking those up. It's going to help you with your last hitting a little bit. And do you run flat AD runes?
I got like AD and then like armor, and then I think magic resist, and then that would be like my AD rune page.
Okay, yeah, that's
I'm still working
fine.
on those tier 3 runes. They're just really expensive.
Yeah, they take a little bit of time to get going. So how long you been playing then?
Almost a year.
Oh,
I think
okay.
like October or something will be like a year.
Cool. Okay, so make sure we're saving our flash for reactive plays.
Okay.
Only use it if you're gonna die. And in most cases, what I would say is do not use your flash unless you're going over a wall. That'll help you not use it unnecessarily. I mean, obviously that's not the only time you'll ever want to use your flash, but if you start looking at it in that perspective, I'm only going to use my flash to get over a wall, then you'll realize in situations like that, you shouldn't flash. very, very few situations where you should flash. And the reason you want to use it over a wall or something like that is simply because it is a really powerful gap close and gap creation tool. So use it to its maximum effectiveness in that sense, because otherwise you have other options. You have other tools in your kit. You got a tumble, you've got move speed, you've got boots, or well, actually you don't have boots quite yet.
And yeah.
Yeah, you've got a lot of other tools in your kit to escape. So use your skill rather than being lazy, so to speak. You know, don't take offense to that, but you know what I mean.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, don't just use it because it's easier than tumbling away. So another situation here, you want to be shooting and moving. Okay. So nice kill there. Nice kill. Brought yourself back to even. Yeah. Gold-wise, probably just caught yourself back up. Yeah, you're only 500 behind the enemy Ashe, even though you're 20 CS down. So we're doing okay there. And we'll probably...
And I got the blue buff.
Yeah, and you got blue buff. Nice. Cooldown reduction. Gonna be handy. Extra tumbles.
Okay. What do you do? Do you just get like boots and stuff like that?
As far as...
For like cooldown reduction, get like boots and what... I think it's Yomu's.
You know, honestly, with Vayne, I do recommend going attack speed almost primarily, because her W is where the largest source of her damage comes from. Procking that
like
W.
percentage stuff, yeah.
Exactly. And really, Vayne is sort of a niche pick nowadays, because Vayne primarily focuses on tank shredding. So if the enemy team doesn't have a lot of tanks, her kit's not as effective as a lot of other ADCs. Now, I don't want you getting too caught up on that, because it's more important to know one or two champions really well than it is to always have the right tool in your bag. So, like, more important than a champion pool of 12 ADCs and you bust one out for every certain situation. It's more important to know one champion or two champions really well. Okay. But if you were going to, you know, learn a second or a third champion, you know, Caitlyn's a great one for a backup, because she's higher attack damage, lower attack speed. She teaches you how to manage your range real well, because she's almost entirely focused on that. And she also gives you another option for when you're not fighting a tank-based team. So sort of a backup there, if you want to go that route. But either way, Vayne is a great choice. Yeah, obviously, she's a super hyper late-game carry. Tristana is another one that's fairly short range and in your face, kind of like Graves and Vayne. But at the same time, like, they're high risk, high reward champions. Vayne and Twitch and Tristana, they're all very high risk, high reward champion. So yeah, at this point, you are starting to catch up a little bit on CS. Again, that's one thing I would like to do in our 1v1 here. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up some.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because I think we've pretty much gleaned most of what we can out of this. Lots of downtime.
Yeah.
Look at this Veigar go, though. I mean, he's really trying. Another 200 autos, he might have that thing. Okay, we got Dragon. You did the right thing by not trying to collapse on mid there in a 2v1, because you aren't fed enough. So definitely a good call, and I like that you picked it up there as soon as your team followed up on it, so great timing on that. Here, don't be afraid to be getting up on that a little sooner, and if we need to see that again, we can go and read that.
Okay.
So let's take another look here. We know Veigar's engaged. Go immediately.
Okay.
And remember, you get move speed while moving towards enemy champions. So you could have at least theoretically kept chasing that. So don't be afraid to keep running people down as Vayne specifically. You don't want to do that with other ADCs, but with Vayne specifically, that's one of her power points too. So manage that range, stay up close, use A to shoot and move, and don't be afraid to chase too much. But don't chase too much. Alright, so moving on here. And I think you win this game. So I mean, things must go pretty well for you. Let me, whoops.
I think I got like slightly fed, and then Ashe was fed.
Yeah, you finished this one out 3-3-7. So you do pick up 1 more death and 4 more assists. And you do win. Okay, so again here, want to be helping out the team, shoving objectives. That's probably the biggest difference. And I'm sorry, I can't remember if I said that to somebody earlier today or if it was to you. So I apologize for that. But
That's fine.
That is one of the biggest differences I noticed between low elo and high elo. It's not farm, it's not kills, it's objectives. And people's focus on objectives. So anytime you see an opportunity to push an objective, do it. That's what's going to win you the game. So in a situation like this, one trick I use, I do head counts. Whoops, let me switch to the right ones here. I do a head count every time. So like when I'm moving around like this, I'm watching mid. We got 2 dead, 2 mid. There's only a possible 1 other enemy that's unaccounted for, and this wave's already pushed a turret. So rather than fall all the way back at full health, immediately rotate to that next turret. Okay. There's only 1 possible person to stop you, and if that person comes, that's cool. Just fall off. Fall back. Rotate to another objective. Call Baron. Take their jungle. Do something that can apply forward pressure for your team in those situations, and that's going to allow you to carry, like, that alone, I think, is going to get you out of bronze. Just objective focus. This is actually what I did, because I was doing, I stream. I don't know if I told you that either, but I do stream.
I saw on, like, Twitch you streamed.
Okay, yeah. So I do a Twitch stream, and I was doing a bronze to gold run, and because I wanted to actually test these theories that I'm talking to people about, and it does work. So when you, especially in bronze, people do not rotate for crap. They don't. They have the absolute worst map awareness and rotations. So that is an area that you could focus on to abuse and push your objective or push your leads and teams. So right now we know we got Yasuo bot, we've got 2 top, 1 mid. That means 1 is MIA, and you have the opportunity with your 2 people that are around mid to shove that mid lane, get that kill on Talia, and take a turret. Now that Yasuo's MIA, we might want to be a little bit more cautious about pushing, but watching those things is really, really, really going to push you ahead, man.
Okay. I've got those wards in the bushes and stuff like that.
What's that?
As I said, I have those wards in the bushes and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got good vision control. Obviously, you do want to be careful around Yasuo here. Yeah. He is going to wreck you guys at this point. He does a ton of damage. If he gets his hands on you, that is. Always the thing with Yasuo, or with anybody against an ADC. If they can get their hands on you, they are going to wreck you. But obviously, if you manage your range effectively, going to be all right. So I practice circling enemies a lot. So what I mean by that is, say this circle is your attack range away from the enemy's standing right here. Practice shooting and moving in this circle around them. And do that to minions, do it to turrets, do it to enemies, do it to jungle camps, do it to whatever you can, because it does take a lot of practice to do. But when you use A and just like right click here, move, and then left click A, and then right click here, move, and left click A, practice always be moving around an enemy, and practice shorting your attack animation to the minimum amount of time it can take. That was I don't think I finished my sentence on that earlier, but that's orb walking. That's what it is. So
that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, because people like Nautilus, he's a prime example of somebody who has an extremely slow attack animation, but you can shorten it down to like 1/3 the amount of time that you're not moving. Vayne is another one who's got a really pretty short one as it is, but when you start doing that orb walking, you can almost never stop moving. Like, you can shoot and move and shoot and move and shoot and move in a circle like this, and almost never hold still for even a split second. That's going to help you a lot when it comes to avoiding enemy harass. And when you avoid enemy harass, it allows you to play a lot more aggressively against them. Which again comes into that range management. I keep wanting to say mitigation for some reason. But yeah, it comes in when you're managing range against enemies. So like say Yasuo's right there and he's trying to chase you. When you're doing that shoot and move thing, you can easily tumble to the side and avoid his tornado and keep shooting and moving and keep shooting and moving, etc., etc. So we'll take a look at that too when we do a 1v1. Okay, and we only got a couple minutes here, so we'll go ahead and blaze through this. That's an Oregon and Washington joke, in case you didn't get it. Alright. So we're shoving in here, getting some farm finally. 54 CS. Yeah. Vayne's such a tough one to farm on. Okay, so you guys are... Yeah, and this is good. This is good, because you are pushing objectives. We know where the enemy team is. We got Keenan here, 1 mid, and there was 2 top, I believe. Although we went through at light speed. So yeah, this is really where they don't rotate. And you see how long it took for the rest of them to get down there?
Yeah, it took quite a bit.
Yeah, and in that time, it allows your team to push other lanes. So even if you die, you see what it created in top lane? They were able to push 2 turrets and almost an inhib. Probably an inhib if Ryze actually stuck around. So yeah, split pushing, that pressure that you create, it allows your team to win even if you're not the one doing the winning. So by this point, they ping Baron for some reason. I have no idea what they're thinking. You guys are only up 5k gold too, which isn't a huge gold advantage. But you're up a ton of kills. And that is something important to remember. Kills are not necessarily gold. A 5k gold lead is not that huge for 15. Not that huge, because that's only 1,000 gold a person. So that's not even a BF across the team. But right there, excellent call. You immediately went to the next lane, start applying pressure. That's what I love to see. This is how you're going to carry yourself out right here.
Rampage.
So it looks like that early game is most likely what we need to focus on here. Not falling so far behind in early game. Now, obviously, a lot of that came because of the Rage and the Ashe thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it looks like that's about it. We'll go ahead and call that. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and do a 1v1 here. Probably don't need screen share on anymore. Kill that. Kill that. I have no idea how to stop screen sharing.
Okay, what you do is you press the little...
Oh, there we go.
Okay, you got it? Yeah.
I got it. Okay. So yeah, let me go ahead and create a custom here, and we'll get you invited.
Okay.
Alright, sir, would you like red team or blue team?
It doesn't matter.
Excellent choice. Okay. So we'll go ahead. Yeah, you're probably going to play Vayne. I'll just go ahead and play Vayne too, so that we can mirror match it. Sure, I got the right runes on here. Okay.
If this is anything like the Platinum game I played, gonna get wrecked pretty fast, like I said.
I doubt it. That's not the goal here. Like, I know some people do lessons and they just do it to like show how much better they are than people. That's not my goal here. We're gonna look at your farming. We're gonna look at your positioning. We're gonna discuss like opportunities where you can move in on me, opportunities for trading. So yeah, we'll talk about the early laning phase here a lot, and you know, really, we're probably only going to play like 10 to 12 minutes of this, because that's the most critical moments. Like, that is the part that determines most of the rest of the game, especially in higher elo. So if you want to just meet me here in bot lane.
Okay. Now, is it good to take Thunderlords? I only took Stormraider Surge because I felt like it worked, and also kind of because I saw Gosu do it.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, those things, some people will tell you that masteries, like, you've got to use these masteries and you've got to use these runes. Masteries and runes are completely up to your own personal preference. So there are certain things that work a little bit more synergistically with your kit.
So would Thunderlords have been better then? Because you're condemned, and then you like 1-2 auto, and then Thunderlords goes off.
Yeah, because Vayne does work on her third auto with W, Thunderlords is usually a good choice. I like to use Fervor, personally.
Okay. To build those stacks.
Yeah, just because the stacks work out. She's a high attack speed champion, so it does tend to work out. But I also don't play a lot of Vayne. So you're probably going to crush me here, not going to lie.
Minions have spawned. The shadows are to be feared.
So again, another important power spike is when you hit level 2. This is a really important one to know. So when the third melee minion of the second wave dies, that is when you hit level 2.
Okay.
When you know that, you can tell who's going to hit level 2 first, and you can use that to your advantage. So you can tell your supports when you get into game too if you want to, or just ping targets. Like when you know the third melee minion of the second wave is about to go down, you can go ahead and ping a target, and usually your support will start moving in. But generally, because of that, because you do want to get the level 2 power spike first, you want to try to shove the first wave as fast as possible.
Okay. Now, you mentioned earlier about pressing A and stuff like that. How would I set that up?
So what I do, it should be something that you can already do. I don't know if you changed any settings, but basically, I'll left click. I'll like be walking, right click like this. I'm right clicking, walking.
My left click doesn't do anything.
Now try pressing A and clicking. There you go. So you don't have to click on a minion. It'll hit the closest thing to your cursor when you do that. And that's how you do the stuff like this, where you shoot and move, shoot and move, shoot and move, without actually walking back towards the enemy.
Okay, but I kind of like, should I focus on that orb thing, or just like, because I kind of stop as I shoot?
Yeah, you'll want to try to minimize it. So when you have low attack speed, it's not as obvious that you're doing the orb walking, and you'll tend to cancel your autos a lot as you get used to it. Like you'll see me like do that right there. But once you get the rhythm for what your attack speed is, you'll actually start picking it up quite a bit. Oh god, I'm terrible. So, opportunities for harass. You want to look for opportunities where I'm last hitting a minion and you don't have a minion to hit. Which is one of the reasons you don't want to be always constantly hitting minions, because you're not leaving yourself the opportunities to farm. So watch for when, like this minion I'm hitting right now, you know my third hit's going to be on it right there. When I go to do my third hit on it, use that to do that. Exactly.
Okay.
So that's your opportunity to trade. So I'm hitting this minion, you know I'm going to hit it with my third one, use that time to come in and hit me. Perfect. And, you know, obviously I'm just, I'm letting you do this, but yeah, just for practice purposes. So, oh, I didn't even buy any items, man. That might help me too. Who needs items? Items are inconsequential. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and back here.
Okay.
Might go buy an item. Yeah, feel free to keep pushing if you want to. So as Vayne, your first power spike typically is either when you get Zeal or when you get Vamp Scepter. So depending on how much gold you have on your first back should kind of dictate which one you buy. But
wait. Which one did you say?
Either Vamp Scepter or Zeal.
Or Zeal.
Yeah, Zeal is 1300 and then Vamp Scepter is 900. So depending on which point you're at, sort of dictate what you buy in your first back. But getting...
I would try to mainly do that that Scepter first so that I could get Yomu's Ghost Blade.
Ah, gotcha. So you go Ghost Blade on Vayne?
Yeah.
Okay. That's something I'm not going to be able to speak too much about because I don't know the latest builds on Vayne.
Yeah. Just kind of like watch the pros and just kind of copied what they did.
Gotcha. So when it comes to farming under turret, you'll see that I'm autoing each minion once and then setting up for the last hits. So this is what I'm talking about shooting and moving. Whoops, that's not on SmartCast.
The dark should follow me.
And there you go. That would have been you. But yeah, just use A to keep moving and shooting and moving and shooting, moving and shooting.
I keep pressing Q.
Oh, you keep pressing Q?
I keep pressing Q.
Yeah, it does take a little bit of practice. I mean, I'm talking like 20 or 30 games of practice to get that rhythm down. So, and really, it comes down to a rhythm. That's what keeps me in line with it. Like, I'll be like right click, A click, right click, A click, right click, A click, right click, you know, and that'll speed up throughout the course of the game as your attack speed gets higher. So yeah, we're sitting at 23 CS right now. That's not bad.
Oh, I didn't have no mana. That was kind of pointless.
Right? I still need to get E on Smartcast. I always keep E on Smartcast. I keep going to condemn you into the wall and not.
I hear the innocent cry out.
But you see where I'm keeping my positioning? Like right between my minions, you know, right up where I'm just about in range with you. I could just tumble forward and get you. Yeah, that's why Vayne is so hard, because you do have to play so aggressively close to your enemy. Like, it's dangerous. It's a very dangerous game. Yeah. Whole shooting and moving. That's another thing. Like, you notice how I moved up past you? Yeah. Always move in their direction of travel.
Oh.
So, because you know that you're going to be able, you know what direction they're going to be running.
Why is the like flash Q and then you just like condemn them to a wall or something like that?
If you can do it, that's a really hard skill to do. But like, you know, some people can do that condemn thing.
Yeah.
I find it really risky because if you mess it up, you're just absolutely screwed. Yeah, and then you're out of position, you're pushed up too far, and they just wreck you. So. Okay, cool. So we're at 32 CS. You're doing pretty good, actually. Doing pretty good.
Ah, there you go again. This whole A thing is new to me.
It does take a lot of getting used to, man, but I'm telling you, as ADC, it's totally worth it. And it is going to take you a while, and for a while you're not going to be as good as you normally are, so it's going to frustrate you. But once you get it down, it'll be worth it, I promise. Because once you have, like, you know, 1.7 attack speed on Vayne, it's almost impossible to be right-clicking to your right and left and right and left and right and left to, like, run away, but then turn back and hit, and run away and turn back and hit. When you're using A, it always hits the thing closest to your cursor. So, like, for example, right here, I'm clicking over in River with my A. But that's allowing me to kite. I'm just clicking behind me out in River, and it allows me to kite out like that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, if you want to go ahead and try that too when this wave pushes out, feel free.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and shove these so it's going towards you.
I bring swift death.
And also, don't forget the auto attack reset that you get from tumbling. So if you have two minions that are like about the same health, you can auto attack. Like, let's see if I can set one up here.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to. No, that
okay.
can happen. They're not pushing correctly. But like, I can hit that one, then auto and hit that one, and get them both.
Ah.
So yeah, just another little trick that'll probably help you out. And also, that's really good for when you're trying to get that third proc, because I can auto, tumble, you know, and just keep on them.
Okay, I'm gonna back before I die.
Okay.
I pass judgment.
Now is it good to like buy your items quickly? Cause like I just, you know, press P and then, you know, as soon as I get there, you know, I can buy my items and get quickly back to lane.
Yeah, so typically what I do, if I'm low on health, I'll walk to the very edge of Fountain as I'm buying items. Like, as soon as I get back to Fountain, I right-click on the edge of Fountain, and then I hit P. That way, as soon as you are at full health or pretty full health, and remember, you don't have to be at 100% full health. You heal about 100 HP and about 100 mana between your walk from platform to lane.
Okay.
So you can actually leave like 2 or 3 procs earlier. And yes, it is very important to do that because this game, it comes down to gold, and the amount of gold you can earn depends on how much time you spend earning gold, which, you know, sounds stupid, but some people, like, it's not overtly obvious that that's the case.
I
So
hear the innocent
the more
cry
time you can spend in lane, the more gold you're getting. That's why things like boots can even equal damage, because boots mean that you get to lane faster, which means you get levels faster, which means you get gold faster, which means you're ahead of your opponent.
Yeah.
Like, all those little advantages like that.
I got about 52 CS at 11 minutes. I'm like a third of the way there.
and blood with
Yeah,
service.
and have you ever just sat in a custom game and practiced farming?
Nah, I probably should.
Okay, that's something a lot of people recommend. I hate drills, dude. It bores the crap out of me, but it's worth doing, you know, maybe 5 or 6 times, because it's a lot harder than you think. What you start out doing for these practice drills that at least I'm going to recommend for you, go into a
Okay.
game with no items, no runes, no masteries, and no bots. Just you versus minions. And I want you to try to get 70 minions by 10 minutes.
70 minions. Okay.
Yeah, no pressure, no enemies, no nothing. Just
The
70 minions by
shadows
10
are
minutes.
sincere.
With
You're
no
probably,
runes and nothing? Okay.
Yep, with absolutely nothing.
Okay.
And you're probably not going to get it. I thought it would be super easy. I'm like, well, yeah, no bots, nobody harassing me. Like, that's simple. It's not so simple. So once you're able to get that down, then add a bot. And when you add the bot, don't fight the bot. Don't get snowballed off the bot, 'cause bots are super easy to beat up. Just try to ignore the bot. You know, harass it a little bit if you gotta. But,
Q. Oh, pressing A. Like, why doesn't it work? Okay.
yeah. All right. So yeah, we're about 13 minutes in. So by this point, let's see, where are you at for CS? You're at 62 CS, so that's not too bad. We're just under 5 CS a minute, and I think some farming practice is going to help you out quite a bit here. I'm liking your build. I'm liking your positioning. I think that attack move is going to help you a lot. It's going to prevent you from walking too far past me.
Wings of night.
Especially when you're in a combat situation. You know, you can tumble and then fire and then fire and then fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you wanted to, we could do one more 1v1 if you wanted to go for that.
Smell black
Has a different champ or is Vayne?
It's Vayne, like whatever you want to do. I mean, since we're just doing like 10 minutes of it. Oh, we're already over an hour actually.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh.
We can do one more
Okay.
if you wanted to. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit this one.
Okay. Just a regular, like, 1v1 or like a custom or.
Yeah. We'll just
Okay,
do a custom here. Let me go get it made. And yeah, if you want to play a different ADC, you totally can. I think this time I'm gonna go ahead and go Caitlyn.
I'm on the case.
You think with Caitlyn?
Yeah.
I don't own Caitlyn.
You don't? Who else do you own?
For ADC, Ashe, Ezreal, Heimerdinger, Lucian, Misfortune, I suppose Quinn, Sivir, Varus, Twitch, Tristana.
So like all of them.
So much. Just about.
Do you play any of them? Because we could
Sivir,
also do like a
Twitch
different
every
one.
once in a while. Ashe sometimes.
Okay. Well, yeah, whoever you feel comfortable with. Sivir
Okay.
counters Kate, so if you wanted to do that, we could talk about how to do it.
I'll make it a little difficult for me.
Okay. Gonna go sexy pink skin this time.
Okay. The chroma skin.
Oh yeah, Caitlyn Rebel.
Did you see that they're doing championship thresh?
Are they?
Yep.
I did not see that. No.
Go onto YouTube and look up Brafresco. He's got a video on it.
Oh, nice.
And then the York rework and the chroma skins, and then the Pantheon skin.
Getting that pulled up here. I'll check it out after the game, though, since we're already in. All right, so this time items might come in handy for me. Okay, so Ezreal focuses on his long-range poke and harass,
Yes.
and he is getting a buff tomorrow. Did you already read the patch notes?
No, I did not.
Okay, so they're
I
trying
did not
to
know that.
balance out his late game because he is super strong early and mid,
Yes.
but he falls off super hard late. So they're trying to balance that out a little bit.
Okay. And you counter me, so that's why it's difficult.
30 seconds
Gotcha.
until minions spawn.
Me? Miss? Not by a long shot.
And
So
I'm
do you
still
start
shoving
Iceborne
too.
or do you go tier?
I would go tier first, and then build it up, and then once I get, the
Hot on the
750 or close to it, then get the sword.
Okay. And hopefully you're still building Iceborne though while the tier's stacking.
Yeah,
Minions
yeah,
have
definitely.
spawned.
Okay.
Wanna
Yeah,
see
I know a
hot
lot of
trick?
people nowadays, like, I can't remember my last Ez game. That's the problem. See, I don't play a lot of ADCs. Like, Kate's
Yeah.
pretty much the only ADC I play other than Corki. I can play, like, any jungler. That's my main role, but,
You play any jungle.
dude, I can play any jungle. I can play anybody jungle. Some of them suck, like Raka. Soraka jungle really sucks, but
You played Heimerdinger jungle?
I have the tools.
I've done Dinger jungle
Nobody does that anymore.
because it's terrible.
Is it?
It is
It's
so
just like Shaco though.
sort of, except for your ganks are terrible and
Boom.
your team hates you.
Shot.
Not much of one for counter jungling. So, alright, you are shoving the level 2 advantage. That is good.
Boom. Headshot. So many bad guys. So little time.
Okay, so you did not get the level 2 advantage, so you'll want to be extra careful. Because
Okay.
if I have the
Thank you,
level
guys.
2 advantage, yeah, I'll start coming in and harassing you. Now, if I had a support or something like that, we probably would have tried to all-in you there.
Up for a showdown.
And so one of the things I try to do as Caitlyn, if you ever do get into Caitlyn, is I try to shove it up under their turret early. Because
Okay.
a lot of people have problems farming under turret, as I'm sure you're
Yeah.
aware.
Be caught flat.
I've learned through experience to farm under turret, and like I said, it comes down to that cyclic rhythm, like, okay, I gotta auto the back minions once, I gotta wait 2 autos and then hit the first minions, etc, etc. But not everybody has that down. So I like to take advantage of that fact and really shove it into their turret.
Time for a shakedown.
And yeah, until Ezreal gets his Sheen, you really haven't hit your power spike. So usually if you go back and get tier first, you're still not able to trade. Whereas somebody like Caitlyn's going to go back on their first back and get a BF sword
Yeah.
and actually be able to fight you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was good harass on that Q.
Boom.
And even though I am putting quite a bit of pressure on you here, you're not too far behind on farm. So that's okay. Also, it's important to understand when it's okay to be behind on farm. So in a case like this where you are countered, it's okay to be behind. Don't let it get in your head. A lot of people, they go, oh crap, I'm down, you know, half CS, this is BS, like my sport sucks, I hate my team, I need to gank, blah, blah, blah. It's just going to happen sometimes. And accept that. Like, there are just going to be lanes you completely lose. Like, when I fight Draven, if Draven gets first blood, like, that's it. My lane's over.
That's it.
That's it. Like, he's going to take my turret first, and there's nothing I can do about it. People will still try to fight. They'll be like, oh no, we can, you know, 2v1. No, you can't. You can't do that.
You can't 2v1 the Draven.
Not after he's gotten first blood as Caitlyn. Like, he's just going to 3-shot you and you're going to die. And you're going to feed and you're going to be even more mad. So I just try to farm as much as possible and accept the fact that I can't win this lane, you know, just because that's what it is. That doesn't mean you're going to lose the game. It just means you're going to lose your turret first. And as long as you can lose your turret without dying, it's actually not too big of a deal. So more importantly than, you know, dying 6 times and then losing turret, if you know that you're not going to be able to hold your turret, then don't even try. So you notice I'm putting a ton of harass down on you here. Make sure you're trying to position to the, well, God, I hate when I ping, to the left and right side of your minion wave, of my minion wave too, so you can get those Qs on me.
Okay.
And then as soon as you hit the gold for tier, make sure you go back and get it. Like, as soon as you hit that point, you've got to go back and get it. Which is, again, why it's so important to get that early farm in.
Okay, I think I get back and get the tier.
Yeah, I think it's like
750, yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as you hit 750, forget everything else and just leave.
Okay.
On Ezreal, anyways.
Miss? Not by a long shot.
And then after you get
Actually,
tier...
no, it's 275, because I got the charm
Oh.
thingy with it.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you do that, if you start that route, then make sure you go back after like the first or second wave and get it. Because the sooner you can start stacking that up, the better you're going to be and the more you're going to be able to trade. Otherwise, that entire time is just spent like doing nothing really, not stacking your tier.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you'd started that, sorry.
That's alright. Well, I didn't start any health potions, so I kind of, you know, high risk, high reward.
Yeah. That'll work in bronze, but trust me, once you get up to like mid-silver to gold,
just
like,
don't, no.
yeah, don't do that. You'll get killed. You'll need the extra lifesteal and stuff to be able to sustain. Yeah, this whole shoot and move thing. That's how I managed to, or effectively manage range on Caitlyn. Like, I'm just shooting and moving as I'm walking back.
I love a good chase. Boom. Headshot.
Got him.
So many bad guys.
So how are we doing on CS? We're at 24? Okay. So is it, do you feel like it's being shoved under the turret that's putting you back, or?
A little bit.
Okay. Because I can't see when you're getting the gold or not, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like that, for example, is pretty obvious, but
Yeah.
don't be
trying to,
afraid.
like, move around while doing
As,
Headshot.
yeah, as Ezreal, don't be afraid to auto and then Q at the same time. I forget what they call it. God, I'm trying to remember. Not proxying, but something akin to that word. Where you, like, for example, you can do your E and your Q at the same time, and the Q will go off immediately as you land. So it like sets it up for as soon as you, yeah, it's like really tough. But you can set up those abilities so that like as soon as you land, you're already firing your next thing. So same thing goes with autos. Like if you're autoing a minion, you notice it's going to be just a hair low. Followed up with the Q at the same time, like auto and Q.
Then just trying to position myself, you know, behind my minions.
Yeah. Kate, that's not quite such a big deal against, because Kate can shoot through minions.
Yeah.
And she's also got extremely long range, so it's hard to manage that against her.
Let's investigate.
But like like I did there, with the
Yeah.
auto and the Q at the same time. There you go. I think you pulled it off there. I'm not an Ezreal main, so I'm not 100% sure, but it looked like you did it. It was quick. That's all we're looking for. But yeah, like this little maneuver where I go auto and then shoot.
Me? Not by a long shot.
And that's why I'm constantly moving left to right too when we're trading like this. You notice how often I avoid harass? When you move perpendicular to your enemies, there's a
Can't
much
they
higher...
predict it though?
They can, but a lot of times they don't. And when you're moving perpendicular, it makes it really hard to hit skill shots. That's why I recommend circling at all times. Like, you notice I'm just constantly circling left to right here in like a big half circle. It works. It works fabulously.
Yeah, okay, hold on, my mouse is weird. Okay, we're good.
Okay. But yeah, doing these half circles like this, rotating side to side, firing over here. And yeah, a lot of times you'll find yourself like completely circled around like this to where you're shooting behind the enemy, which you do kind of want to avoid. When you get that deep, you know, you can often get picked off. But sometimes it's the best way to do it.
I have the tools for the
Okay, so we're up to 45 CS at 11 minutes. Doing a lot better, actually, because last game you were at 53, I think, at 13 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're definitely farming a bit better with Ezreal. And that's something you might want to take a look at, too. Take a look at your stats for your different champions. Don't just play who you think you're best with, but play who you're statistically best with. Because like Vi, for example, Vi is my best champion. I have so much more fun with Zac and Graves, but Vi is just my best champion, hands down. So when I'm playing ranked, like I end up playing her anyways, just because I know I'm gonna win more often.
The minions killed me, didn't they?
They did.
Ah.
Little bush juke.
Don't be caught flat-footed.
144 out of the 750.
144?
Yeah.
Yeah, just right at the end.
Sorry, boys. I keep the fuzzy cats at home.
Okay. Oh my god, I got 3,700 gold.
3,700. That's crazy.
Yeah. Alright, so I think you get the point, though, and I think you're farming, so I would definitely recommend practicing your CS. Like I said, I would do the custom game. I'm going to leave this, just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, do the custom game, where you're no runes, no masteries, and you're just trying to get 70 CS by 10 minutes.
Okay.
It's possible. Alright, let me pull it up, actually. There's a calculator I have for this. And I'm going to go ahead and send it to you, too, just in case you're ever curious.
Okay.
Where are you at? There we go. That site. This will tell you exactly, including, you know, wave, walk time, and all that stuff, how many minions are available by that point. So, update at wave clear approximately. Okay,
hold on. Let me see if I can open it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
And so if we go 100% minions last hit, there's 101 minions available by 10 minutes.
101, okay.
101. So when you think about that compared to what your CS is currently, where you're looking at like 50, or even me, like that's why I keep working on this, because you saw I was only at like 75.
Yeah.
There was 101 minions available, which means I barely hit 3 out of 4. So that's like, if you want to go for perfect, aim for that 101 by 10 minutes.
Okay. Is that possible?
I've never done it. I've never done it, but I guess it is technically possible. There's that many minions available. So that's why I'm saying 70 is a nice safe goal. You know, it's like 70% of the minions hit. If you're hitting that, then when it comes to bot games, like, and then if you go do a bot game afterwards where it's just you versus one bot, you can use your runes and masteries, but do not back and buy items.
Okay.
Try to ride out full 10 minutes in lane, no items, and see how many if you can get 70 plus.
Okay.
If you're able to do that by that point, then in a ranked game, you're likely going to be getting about 55 to 60. But at least then you're consistently getting 55 to 60, as opposed to sometimes getting 24 and sometimes getting 70. So it's going to help smooth out your curve across game to game, and that consistency, I think, is going to help take you a long way.
Okay.
All right, man. So did you have any questions for me today?
Not right now, but I probably will in like 10 minutes.
All right, man. Well, you got me on League, and if you want to
Yeah.
do another lesson in the future, feel free to schedule one. I'm more than happy to help out. I'd love to see where you go.
Okay.
All right, cool.
All right. Get some sleep. Get something to eat.
Yeah, man. I'm actually probably gonna start streaming here soon. It's
All right.
my time. So, alrighty. But yeah, it was good meeting you, and
Yeah.
you have a good night, dude.
Thanks, you too.
All right, take it easy.
Bye.
And that concludes our lesson here on Vayne. Covered Vayne today, and we also covered ADC, farming effectively, and trading in lane. So if you liked this, definitely make sure to drop by the stream sometime. Make sure to subscribe here on YouTube, and y'all have a good one.